Hello and welcome. We've got a bit of a fun one here for this Kefka Heretic. No sort of dedicated healer, at least not counting Leo, which we're going to introduce in the first wave, because it's the only single target wave, so we're just going to dump a lot of Master Blades and get this annoying bird out of the way as quickly as possible. Because it's just kind of not what we want, so the real premise with this run, of course, is Edward and Shadow have means of avoiding damage altogether by evading. Shadow has a 70% chance to avoid any attack, which can be increased to 100 with his additional ability. And Edward, of course, when he's hiding, will also avoid attacks. So those two are fine in terms of the HP department, require no healing. And then Cyan has his own self-heal, so super handy. And in terms of dealing with the buffs, of course Cyan can just dispel them, so that concern is a non-issue. So instead of letting this bird eat a shit ton of turns, we're just powering through. That is a bit unfortunate that it didn't kill it there. It would have benefited from another big whammy from Leo's final turn, but alas, not a big deal at all. And Shadow is back. So we can see here it's got its all attack prepared. So we want to break it here, and then Edward will hide away. And then poor Cyan has to just take the brunt of it all. But yes. Save the X for the next wave because it's got a nice bit of splash. I'd say it's probably worth the turn of inefficiency that cost me. I was to be fair, I was hoping the HP plus would kill it, but it wasn't meant to be, I'm afraid. So this wave is probably the chillest of them all, I would say. They're not particularly threatening. They take an entire turn to get their buffs going, and then after dispelling them, their AoEs don't really hit for that much, if at all, depending on whether we got the evasions out. It is, of course, nice to see that Shadow is hitting for respectable numbers, thanks to his character boards. The same can be said for Seymour, actually. they were just disastrously held back by the lack of character boards. It just made their output in terms of brave damage quite lackluster, and essentially rendered them a detriment to the team. But no longer. It's I kind of hope that they would release character boards early for certain characters, just to give them a little bit of a last hurrah before they get wrecked by the upcoming Lufenias. But it wasn't meant to be. Anyway, we'll make sure the evasion's guaranteed there with the AA, because if Shadow gets broken, they're gonna HP attack after the lightning lashes, which I don't want. So I would like to guarantee that they do not hit him. And there we go. So now Cyan can comfortably dispel 3 of the buffs from A and the rest from B, which will make them significantly less threatening. Probably get away with lullabying here. We have 2 more for the 3rd wave. That should be more than enough to deal with those guys. The pace of that wave is a bit faster. They buff immediately and attack immediately in the space of 1 turn. For those of you that remember Fang's Chaos. Right, now all the buffs are gone. And they're having a snooze. Now they've both got all attacks prepared, so in the event it's a HP, I will hide here. It could just be a lightning lash, but I won't take the risk. Yeah, Cyan can afford to get broken here. Damage still decent while these guys are at red. No imperil needed, of course. So yeah, just lightning lashes. Ah, and Shadow got hit. Unfortunate. But no bother. Okay, that's out of the way. There's no enrage, so I'm not particularly concerned about killing them at the same time or anything like that. Hit buffing itself here isn't too much of a bother either, because it's probably going to die. There we go. Okay, now the big cheese. We'll have Tsubame Gaishe up after they buff, I believe. Should be handy. We'll just, yeah, we'll let the 2 turns happen. Oof. Looking for about 7k, quite significant. Let's clear those. So that's most of their buffs gone, only 2 left. He's not quite a full debuffer, but we're going to give him a few more turns in summon to deal with that predicament. There we go, speed. And so at this point now we can just clean up, really. I've got 2 lullabies left, and I'm just sort of free to use at any point if I'm worried about taking damage. But even then, these guys aren't particularly tanky because of the numerous waves. So I think this is just a nice little last stretch. So I'll have them snooze. Okay, they're awake now, and they're in the red. They usually like to do some nasty HP attacks. At this point, I don't think... Well, B is about to, so that's another lullaby. Because since we don't need to tank it, why bother? Just send them straight to sleep, and then put them in a permanent sleep, the sleep of death. Okay, that will die to splash. So we'll just use the AoE. Yep, those buffs aren't too big a deal, because Shadow will avoid it 70% of the time. Yeah, just wild throw again. And he's awake. I'm sensing the odds of a Tsubamagashi ending are relatively low here, yeah. But, ooh! A different kind of cinematic close with Shadowfang. It's a shame even after that thing kills it, still has to throw Interceptor in the mix, because it would end on that climactic scene close. But no, not as cool as Tsubamagashi, but it'll do. So thank you for watching, and thank you for your company, and until next time.